Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us today. And thank you also to Patrick Chinnery, who's joined us today and is going to talk to us a little bit about the LifeArc bid that he has been involved in. So, thank you, Patrick. Would you like to just sort of take a couple of minutes to introduce yourself?
Great to meet you, Maria, and wonderful to do this short video. So I'm Patrick Chinnery. I'm a neurologist based in Cambridge, and I've had the real privilege of working with colleagues across the whole country, centres that you'll all recognise, Newcastle and in London, in putting together a successful application to get supported for 5 years through LifeArc to really make a difference in mitochondrial diseases.
Perfect. So, I guess you've already kind of touched on it when we're sort of talking about making this difference in the world of mitochondrial diseases, but why specifically is this kind of huge investment into mitochondrial disease needed now?
So I've been involved in studying mitochondrial diseases for, I guess, 25 years, from the very early stages when we were first recognizing them. I was in Newcastle for 20 years during that time period. We've learned an enormous amount, Maria, over the last 20 years about what causes mitochondrial diseases. But the truth is, we haven't had a huge impact on treatments we can offer to people who are affected by these conditions. And now is the time for us to do that. Why do I say that? I say that because the knowledge is all coming together with new techniques and new approaches, and we're working together across the whole country for the first time, bringing these centres together for the first time. So I really think the time is right for us to have an impact.
Yeah, and that's so exciting. I think you've sort of touched on this kind of almost like we're starting to break into the surface of mitochondrial disease. We already know quite a lot, but as you say, there's quite a long way to go at this stage as well. And how do you think that this specific centre and the projects that are involved in it are going to really push forward the mitochondrial disease field?
So, I mean, there are several ways that we're tackling the problem. The first is we need to be able to offer a very specific diagnosis to every family. At the moment, we can only do that for about half the families that come to the clinics with a suspected mitochondrial problem. So using new technologies, Rob Taylor in Newcastle is leading across the whole centre a way of trying to, crack that remaining 50%. And we've committed to increasing the diagnosis rate by 20% over the next 5 years, so we can get closer to a genetic diagnosis for every family that comes through the clinic door. So that's step one. Second thing is, if we're going to develop new treatments for mitochondrial problems, we need to be able to measure the function of mitochondria in parts of the body that are affected. This is really difficult, but there have been new advances in brain scanning and also in some muscle scanning that have emerged over the last 5 years. And we've brought together experts in these fields to look at mitochondrial function for the first time. So the second big thing we're going to do is we're going to measure how mitochondria change over time in people who are affected. That's really important because the third bit is we're going to develop 6 new treatment approaches, and we need to measure whether those treatment approaches are having an effect in 6 months, 12 months' time. So those measurements, which we call biomarkers, are going to help us with these 6 new treatment approaches that we're going to develop. And finally, and I can't overemphasize this, in process of doing this, we're bringing in a whole new generation of researchers, both doctors and scientists, who are going to focus on this problem way after I've retired. So not only are we going to make progress over the next 5 years, but we're going to build a team across the country who will keep going until we get this right.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And I think, I mean, even just sort of speaking to you, you can hear the enthusiasm about this project and just how far this is going to go, not just creating, as you say, these potential treatments, but actually training the next generation, which, as you say, is just absolutely so important and obviously great to hear. I guess sort of moving on ever so slightly, I wanted to ask, how important do you think it is for somebody like ourselves, the Lilly Foundation, and other patient organisations in general, to be partners in this sort of project? Why does Lilly's involvement matter?
I mean, Lily's involvement's crucial. Actually, there was Lily involvement, very deep Lily involvement, long before we even submitted the application for funding. Why did we do that? Well, we did that because we want to make sure that the advances that we make a difference to patients and families. People who have lived experience with mitochondrial diseases, they're the people that know most about the things that we need to try and fix as doctors and scientists. So we've involved Lily from the very outset in designing how this project's going to run. Now, for me, the really unusual thing is we're not just consulting Lily and patient organisations. Actually, you're part of our team. So Lily is an equal partner with the other universities in this project. You're sitting on our management team. You're going to shape what we do on a week-by-week basis. And that way, we'll drive things forward with clear priorities about what's important for the families affected by these conditions. And that's not just about the research, because, of course, as we advance our ability to diagnose, measure, and treat mitochondrial diseases, we need the NHS to adopt that. And this is an area where Lily has huge strength. It's about developing the policy and working with the NHS so that when these new treatments come in, they're adopted and they're available for everyone. So we're not just talking to the Lily. Lily's part of this thing. It's absolutely a key part of the centre driving us forward.
Yeah. And that's, I think, obviously, as somebody who works at Lily, that's just amazing to hear and so nice to have been involved in this project. And I think as the project goes on, we'll really see how much of a difference it makes in patients' lives. So I, for one, am very excited. It sounds like you're excited. And yeah, I think I just can't wait to see how far this goes.
I think the other key point is that by working with Lily as a partner, we're connecting to families all over the country. And so that gives families a voice through Lily and a voice directly to us. So this isn't just about scientists in a lab or in a fancy hospital. This is connecting out into the community so that we can really do the best by all the families that are affected by these conditions.
Definitely. And I think it's definitely a case of watch this space. Obviously, the centre's just started going. We've got another couple of years yet. I think it's going to be really exciting. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today. And yeah, I can't wait to hear more in the future.
Great, Maria, and I look forward to working with you over the next 5 years and beyond. Thanks very much.
Thank you.